Hello, it's Jimmy here, alright. I have here a Toyota Avensis. Just arrived here for me to look at the DPF. Customer's already opened the bonnet for me. Nice of him. And yeah, so he was having the DPF light come on consistently. He said he could drive for a couple hours on the motorway. It would take a minimum of sort of 2 hours and the light will go off, but the next time you get in the car the light will come back on. And again, persistent. Yeah. Oh, just noticed as we're talking here, it looks like the coolant's a little bit low. But yeah, let's get inside and have a look. What I do notice here straight away is that this is like literally been burned. It's sitting on right on top of the DPF there. Also here, I'm not sure if you can see, but probably can't, not visible on camera there, but I can see light misting of smoke coming from this breather pipe, so that's going to need to be exchanged. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that right away. I can see it's had a new EGR valve down there, nice and shiny, as well as an EGR cooler as well. They definitely look brand new. A lot of the parts on this look quite new. I mean, this inlet manifold looks quite new to me as well as definitely some of these fuel injectors. That's brand new, that one, and maybe number 2. Okay, let's get inside the car and have a look. DPF full message is on, a little triangle over there. Now he says this does go away sometimes, but it will come back sort of every journey that he goes on. Okay, I'm going to use the Eurotab 3 scan tool here from Launch UK. We'll get this scanned up. Now I don't see a lot of these Toyota Avensis, so we're going to have to go through it and see what's going on here. I don't have any sort of common issues that I'd check on this, but apart from, they're all pretty much the same, but some cars do have different causes for the faults. So just sort of going through the items here now at the minute, where I'm picking, has it got a smart key, all of that. No, it doesn't have a smart key. I don't know what engine that is, but it does. I know some people say some of these cars are not fitted with a Toyota engine, but looks, yeah, I'll have to have a look at the engine properly in a minute. Okay, we're ready to do a high-speed scan. If it supports it, it looks like it does. Faults all over the place here. Particle pressure sensor performance P2453. What else have we got? P1438. Cruise control. AC, lost communication. I do know this has had a battery fitted, so it's had a lot of stuff that's lost the voltage to it. Diesel particle filter overloaded, P1438. That was the same code that we had in the cruise control, so again that's another vehicle that disables the cruise control when the DPF is out. DPF particle filter overloaded, inhibited regeneration, so that means the car will not regenerate on its own, which is maybe why if he spends a couple hours on the motorway, and it does tow a trailer there, you see he transports cars with this, but yeah, maybe because he's putting it under a bit of load, it is able to sort of get the soot down a bit, but not enough. Enhanced SRC, check for adapted diesel particle pressure sensor too high, diesel particle filter overloaded. There's a lot of codes. P2453 and a P1410, pressure too high again. Let's go in and have a look at the live data. So it might have a pressure sensor that's not working. We're just going to get up a few items. Okay, so we've just been clicking a couple of items there that we want to look at. That seems a little bit erratic there, doesn't it? It's jumping around a bit, the pressure. Distance since last regen. That confused me before with this machine, is the miles or kilometers. It's not miles or kilometers, it's kilometers or meters. So it's done 1,000 kilometers since it last had a successful regen. It's idling at sort of 60, 75, 52, a little bit all over the place. So we'll get do some more tests on that. So just to confirm, this pressure sensor looks like it's working okay. It is moving, so what I'm going to do is get a digital manometer and test and compare the pressures to see if the digital manometer is giving me similar readings to what I'm getting here, and is it fluctuating as well, and that'll help me determine whether or not that needs a new sensor. So let's hold the revs up at 3000 RPM or thereabout. 250. Okay, so we're getting sort of 31 millibars with this connected to the pressure holes here. So I do think the sensor is reading off a bit, and how I can confirm that is sensor is disconnected, so we've got to connect it here, and we are still getting a reading on there, which is a bit strange. So that DPF pressure sensor is not reading correctly, or there's an issue with the ECU. It doesn't look like this car has been fitted with the correct battery. It looks like it's just had a battery swapped over, but a second-hand battery by the looks of it. Now with that sensor reconnected there, we've even got a higher reading now on the pressure sensor. Okay, car is off and we have 55 millibars of pressure, 56, so definitely something going on there. Let's try if we can calibrate the sensor if we have the option, and then we would need to clean the DPF because the DPF is blocked. So we're either going to need to replace the sensor or adapt it basically. Okay, let's see if we're on the right one here. Differential pressure sensor learning. Let's try that. Okay, now we have to wait for that. Okay, now having a look at this engine, of course, I must have been blind earlier. Of course it's the BMW engine, and that's why we've got that same EGR cooler and that same silly breather pipe there that always fails, that we normally see on the BMWs. It all really looks the same. I just wasn't really paying attention earlier. When you look at a Toyota, you assume Toyota engine, but it's not, BMW engine. Okay, so now that is complete. Now we can go back and check the pressures again. It could have been that the battery change and even the incorrect battery could have sort of knocked this out of line, but no, that hasn't helped. So it's going to need a pressure sensor, definitely. Now, would you believe we have a sensor here ready to hand, and I do think this is working. I can't remember where I got it from. So what I'll do is I'll just connect that, and I'm not going to connect the hoses or the screws at the minute, the bolt. We're not going to fix it on, we're just going to connect it and then read the live data pressure, see if that's changed. Now we're just going to relearn that sensor again, the new one that we've put on. Okay, so with this one we have 11 pressure, which is still not 100% correct, but a lot better. We're going to connect it up now and run the car, see where we're at. So we are now getting exactly the same reading with the engine idle as we're getting on the manometer. We're very, very close to that. So I think we'll leave this sensor on here for now. If it causes any issues with the slight whatever the word is, I've got brain freeze today, but I don't think it's going to cause an issue. If not, yeah, we can get it changed over with a proper one, but we can't get one today from anywhere local until Tuesday, so next week basically. I think now that I'm happy enough with how close this sensor is reading, we'll get the DPF cleaned out, reset the values, and should be okay as long as there's no damage on the DPF. Now we're going to have to clean it out, see if the pressure comes down, and we'll go from there. So I've got here as well a nice shiny compressor that I got today. My old one just packed up, so screw fix is just over there. We picked one up. Okay, now we've got that up to 9 bar pressurized. That's connected to the Launch UK DPF cleaning gun here. and we've got the fluid in there, so got it connected over here. We're going to now squeeze that in. Okay, now we're back in the car. We're going to hold the revs up just over 3000 RPM, and we'll see how far down we can get this pressure to come. Chart on. So now we reset the DPF and the pressure sensor again. Then we clear the fault codes. Okay, we've just completed a 10-mile test drive there, and it seems after the test drive the sensor has somehow sort of just settled itself in. Maybe they need a little bit of a journey to adapt in. Maybe it takes some time after the adaptations are done. Yeah, so it looks like a drive cycle has sorted that out. And now with the vehicle idling, we have 4 or 5 millibars of pressure and around 50 to 60 at 3000 RPM. We'll just let that, obviously we're still up at sort of 250 degrees we had it on our test drive there. That should cool down a little bit lower than that in a minute. Now if we exit the data stream, we'll go back and just read some of the fault codes now, and it's clear after the test drive, so I would think it's all okay. So now we can switch off the ignition and we'll do a full clear of all of these codes that are voltage related there. So that's it, we're all finished on the Avensis, and I'll see you in the next video.